What's going on, everyone? Chase Crawford here with Tommy Stevison, and this is According to the Internet. Tommy, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Doing great. Tommy, tell the audience a little bit about how we met and how we maybe one of your favorite shenanigans that we've been involved with together.
Oh man, I don't know how much detail I should really go into, but we met at a previous job.
We can name the employer.
Okay, all right. It was Best Buy.
You acted like it was like top secret. Like, yeah, we met at a previous employer.
Yeah, it was real.
Hustler Hollywood.
Exactly. No, yeah, it was a pretty good time. A lot of shenanigans, always professional.
Yeah, right. Come on.
I know, oh my gosh. Probably the best story I can tell was, when we worked back in computers for a while. There's a lot of Bluetooth speakers, and, Chase had this affinity for playing Careless Whisper really loud on the speaker and then walking away. So it just left you back there in a really awkward moment. And, I definitely won't forget that for sure.
I actually created that. Do you remember that soundboard I had on my S4 where it was like an app that I built and all it was one big saxophone button and it just played Careless Whisper on a loop. Yeah. That's about the extent of my app development knowledge as well.
It's pretty impressive, yeah, honestly.
I also found that 10-hour loop and we can talk about them later, but name redacted for legal reasons. Do you remember that guy?
I don't. Yeah, maybe.
Jeez.
Yes, I do.
I don't know. We won't go too deep into it because no one else knows who he is, and those who know who he is probably already know all the fun details.
Yeah.
But yeah, he name redacted for legal reasons. Was the security guard at Best Buy, and he would get really mad. But anyways. Getting into our first story, Tommy, according to the internet, LeBron James has signed with the Lakers, and in a 24-hour window, they signed Lance Stephenson, JaVale McGee, and Rajon Rondo.
Pretty cool.
Sports, right?
Yeah, sports. No, so I'm not a big, giant sports guy. I am happy, though. One of our good friends, Darian, he's a big Lakers fan, so I'm happy for him. I'm hoping to see, Lakers doing much better. I'm sure he'll be happy, and that's just about most all I can contribute to that, honestly. I mean, go team.
Do you think LeBron's a traitor for leaving Cleveland, or do you think he came back, gave him what they needed to get, and left?
Yeah, I don't think he really owes anything to them. He's doing what's best for him. It's his life, his legacy. He can do what he wants.
Do you think that he's gonna go the full Shaq route in entertainment? I know there's been a lot of talks about a Space Jam 2 with him involved in it, and when Shaq was in LA, he was doing music, he was doing film. Do you think that LeBron's kind of focusing on life after basketball already, or do you think that this is strictly, he wanted to be in LA to play with the Lakers and kind of end his career there?
Yeah, like I said, I have very limited knowledge, but I know he was trying to get with, Magic Johnson and make a lot of smart business moves for down the road in terms of, possible other entertainment, other ventures and all that. So it's probably a smart move all around, honestly. So
now he did get a max contract. I believe it was $154 million over 4 years. What would you do with $154 million, Tommy?
Wow. Okay. Realistically, I've had my eye on an authentic stormtrooper costume for a long time, so that might be the first purchase.
All right, so what would you do with the remaining $153,999,090?
It's just something I've never really thought about. Wow. I really enjoyed my Lambo on GTA, so I might have to buy that in real life.
Chromed out?
Probably chromed out, Man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of it would go to charity for sure. Try to invest, try to play it smart, keep my money for a long time if I can, and pass them on to my kids too in the future. Which, if I end up having kids, so we'll see.
LeBron's already sent the entire city of Akron to college.
Yeah, no.
I don't really know how much there's left to do.
And I think that's one thing that people a lot of times forget about people that have so much money like that. People just tend to, think they're easy targets to hate on and stuff like that. But if you look, he's donated a lot of money. Not to go too political, I know Kaepernick's donated a lot of money. Like a lot of these star athletes and celebrities have done a lot of good things that people tend to forget about. So,
do you think that that's solely because they literally have so much money they don't know what to do with? Or do you think that it's because they're good people?
Maybe both. Who knows? I'm sure it varies from person to person. But like I said, my sports knowledge is limited, but I think a lot of the people have a good heart, even though, they do have a lot of money. So I don't know.
Tommy, so your sports knowledge is limited. Tell me what you did growing up. Did you play sports at all, or were you more of like a video game guy?
So I actually used to love basketball, and I played every single year until you had to try out, and then I realized I was bad. I always knew I was bad, but then I realized I was terrible. So then, I ran track, but no one really ever counts that as a sport. But played a lot of video games growing up. That was kind of one of my things. I grew up in Hamilton originally and didn't really have a whole lot of outdoor activities to engage in. So, a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog, a lot of Mario, all that good stuff back in the day. So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to move into our small town shout out. Tommy, have you thought of a small town to shout out today? I know last week's might have been hard to top with Gaysville, North Dakota.
I did hear about that. Shout out to his family, Grant's family.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole podcast. I'm a good friend. I guess it would have to be, good old Ross, Ohio.
Good old Ross, Ohio.
I guess so.
Home of Tommy Stevison and Eddie Trainer.
Yep, DJ E-Train. Yep, we're both from the same spot. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Tommy,
really.
guess the population of Ross, Ohio for me. This is going to be an ongoing thing with like where we guess the population.
And I thought you may have been looking that up. I have no idea. I'm just going to say 5,000 like Grant did, and you'll tell me I'm wrong. Let's go with it.
Well, I just Googled it and turned the phone down. I'm going to say 1,500.
Okay.
Jeremy, do you have a guess?
For Ross?
Yeah.
Ross, Ohio?
Yeah.
10,000.
Jeremy says 10,000. He's clearly never been to Ross before.
Are we counting livestock as well, or just the people?
All right. Ross, Ohio, according to Wikipedia, the population is 3,417.
Okay, that's pretty close.
Man, me and Tommy, I think we split the middle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
No, you were closer, right? You were like 1,600 off, and I was like 2,000 off.
Yeah.
But whatever. Who's counting?
Mm-hmm.
Just me. Transitioning into our next topic, according to the internet, TanaCon was an explosive disaster.
Yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Did you watch all of those videos, Tommy?
Last night.
I was hoping that you did, because Tommy and I are both males in our 20s. So the primary demographic of TanaCon, let me just explain TanaCon. So Tana Mojo is this YouTuber, right? What is she, 19, 20?
I don't know. I never really watched her.
She's like one of those like makeup, like
Vlog.
let me tell stories and vlog girls. So she got uninvited to this big YouTube conference called VidCon, and she, with other uninvited YouTube superstars, decided to create an event called TanaCon. And TanaCon was just a complete disaster. So this YouTuber by the name of Shane Dawson created a 3-part like documentary series about it in a week. Let's talk about that first. He turned around an hour and 40 minutes worth of content in 7 days, which is completely insane. But essentially what happened is this Tana girl decided to oversell the venue by 3,500 people and then offer free tickets as well. So I think the initial reports were 10 to 15,000 people showed up for a venue that could only fit 1,200 people. And they had paid tickets wise, they had sold 5,200 tickets. So regardless, not everyone was fitting in there in the first place. And then it turns out that the event was owned and operated by a guy who was 20 years old, who had never ran any type of conventions before. I mean, the entire thing was just a train wreck. But Tommy, tell me about your take on those videos.
Man, so right from the get-go, it was going to be a bad idea when you could tell that the whole reason why she made this other convention was because she was bitter that in the past when she went to VidCon, I guess she didn't get I think she took it as disrespect, but they didn't feature her as like a featured creator. They didn't give her like the backstage passes and all that. So she was like, screw this, I'm going to go do my own thing. And she tried to do it in a very short amount of time, and obviously, it backfired. I agree with what Shane Dawson said. That, she's lucky nobody got hurt. But yeah, I'm embarrassed to admit that's why I had trouble getting up this morning, because I started watching Shane's 3-part documentary on YouTube, and I was like, I got to finish this. It was really engrossing. I had to watch it, and it was pretty fascinating. I think she's an airhead that trusted the guy way too much, and I think the Michael guy, the one who technically put on the convention, I think that he didn't really know what he was doing. I think he had only had experience with small events before, and that was way too much for him. So,
yeah, he had run her previous like meet and greet tours where they'd go to venues that hold a couple hundred people, and people would pay to meet this girl. But he had never run anything in the thousands and thousands, and there were just so many memes of him riding around on that Segway. The Segway, yeah, it was pretty funny. This kid was 20 years old. He had no idea what he was doing. They had tried to put together a gift bag, and the gift bag literally had 4 stickers in it, a condom, and one other little trinket thing.
A lanyard, yeah, all that.
And these people paid $65 to get in, and the entire thing. The security was another thing, right? He said that they had hired 90 people to be on security, and then the document said that the most that was there anytime was 25.
Yep, just it was not a good look at all. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of wonder in a situation like that, are the fans still going to stay with her and all that, stay with her YouTube? For sure, tons of people will. But you kind of wonder what it does to her reputation going forward. So,
there were people so the fans were standing in the sun all day. Mm-hmm. So, they had 3rd-degree sunburn. Some of them were passing out from dehydration. Like, I know in the video they kind of downplayed it. Oh, well, at least no one got hurt. But
yeah,
if you're passing out from dehydration, that's pretty bad.
Well, not only that, and you got to think a lot of these people, a lot of them were local, but some people, flew from different parts of the country, even out of the country, just to see, Shane Dawson, their favorite creators, and then just to pretty much have the entire weekend ruined. They've spent so much money, and it's like, how do you? You really can't. I don't know how you repay those people for that. You can refund their ticket, but what are you going to do? Refund their hotel and all that too? You can't do that. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize about YouTube is how much money there is made by these people. They have, series live. I think that the last stat that I saw is that there were 3,000 YouTubers who make over $1 million a year.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
And I'm sure that you had 20 to 30 at this convention, right? You're seriously messing with a great livelihood by damaging your friends' reputations like this by putting on a bad convention. So for even some of the people that she had invited to go there were speaking out against her and this quote unquote convention that she put together. But anyways, Tommy, are you a convention guy? Do you go to conventions at all?
I've been to a couple local ones. Probably the most notable was like Horror Hound, probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Tell people what that is who don't know.
Horror Hound is basically kind of in a nutshell like a horror movie type convention, but there's also TV show characters kind of in the similar genre. Most notable back then was The Walking Dead. That was when it was kind of really big. Met a lot of the cast to The Walking Dead. They were pretty nice people and all that. Yeah, that's probably the most notable one. I'll go to some of the more local like gaming conventions and all that with part of the charity that I do and everything. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Do you dress up? I know you talked about the Stormtrooper costume. Are you like in that whole cosplay realm?
I really only have dressed up if there's going to be like kids around. If it's like something where I feel like a kid might like to see, like, I don't know, if I go as like Captain America or like Bane or something goofy like that. If I feel like there's kids there that'll appreciate it, I'll do it. But I don't know. I'm not really part of the whole cosplay thing. So
do you shave your head clean when you dress up as Bane?
Yeah, I did. I was just debating. I was like, what, does my head look weird if it's shaved? And it was around Halloween, so I just shaved my head, threw on the Bane mask, and rocked it out, and it was pretty cool. Yeah.
What kind of comments did you receive, like after, like when you weren't dressed up? Like
When
with
I
a
had the
shaved head?
mask on and my
No, when
head
you
was-
just had
oh.
when you just had the shaved head.
I think the most flattering compliment is that, hey, your head isn't shaped weird. So I was like, cool. So if
I think that that's
what.
what I learned when I shaved my head is
Yeah.
that like my head is like shaped like not like it's not weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's shaved
So
pretty blonde.
thanks,
I mean,
mom, for like laying me on my back and like flipping me over every once in a while, so I didn't get like a flat head or any like weird formations.
you just need a Gucci scarf and a Segway now, and you're good.
Oh man, only people who have watched the TanaCon video. I'm telling you, any age, anyone would enjoy the documentary. It's by a guy named Shane Dawson. Whether you know anything about the YouTube culture or not, I think it's kind of just like
It's fascinating.
it's really fascinating, and I think anyone with any relative amount of understanding can watch that and understand at least what went on with that convention. He tells a really good story. Transitioning to our last story of the day, well, maybe our last. We never know how long we're gonna talk. That's like the best thing about this is we just talk, and it's
a good time.
sometimes it ends in an hour, and sometimes it ends in 5 minutes. The 5 minute podcast, it's usually like, hey, come talk about this, and then I bring up something that they don't want to talk about, and then they like throw everything in my studio and leave. That's only happened twice. But that's why we only put out episodes every other week, because Jeremy just gets too mad at me because I have to make him buy new equipment every time a guest throws things. So he's like, Chase, you need to be nicer to people and consider their feelings.
Wait, I don't know if you're being serious. People actually throw things in here?
Yeah, dude, it's happened twice.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really get that angry.
They just got mad and left. I just kept prying. Like, so, yeah. So, like, if they had just, like, recently broken up with their girlfriend or boyfriend, like, I'll be like, hey, so tell me about, your boyfriend's new girlfriend.
So you're one of those interviewers. Okay,
He definitely upgraded. And, like, that's when they get mad. Like, when I say, like, he definitely upgraded, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, there's certain things you could ask me about that I'm sure I would get, a little bit more riled up. But I'll let you control your podcast today and touch on whatever you want to touch on.
So, did you see the story over the weekend where, according to the internet, a German man killed 21 of his coworkers over the course of 18 years by tainting their lunches?
I did not hear this. You gotta tell me about it.
Yeah. So, over the course of 18 years, he used lead acetate, which is a highly potent and tasteless powder. And he sprinkled it onto their lunches. It was apparently a white, powdery looking substance. And I guess one day a new security guard at the factory had noticed he sprinkled something in his coworker's lunch, reported it to HR. And what was happening is these people were dying from either cancer or a heart attack from the amount of metal. It was like lead or something that was being put into their system. I'm not 100% sure on what happens medically, but the company was like paying out settlements because they thought it was part of the employees working there, is that they were getting sick and dying.
So they're getting almost like workers' comp or like
no, yeah, they were paying out like multi-million-dollar settlements to the families of these employees, right?
So I mean, so was the guy like in charge of like the food? Like, how was this happening?
No, he was not in charge of the food. They didn't have a cafeteria or anything. He was just going to the lunchroom, and can you imagine what kind of like?
I mean, that's insane. I mean, you got to think that guy must have some sort of.
He has to be a
cognitive-
psychopath.
Yeah. there's
Over
gotta
the
be
course
something.
of that many years to go into work every day normal and just be like, oh yeah, he died.
Well, then you got to wonder, was he targeting certain people he didn't like, or if he was just doing it just to do it? I mean, that raises a lot of questions. That's crazy. I've not heard this.
Yeah, and you also got to think about what the company thought about their turnover rate. It's like these people would work there for a couple years and then die, and they probably thought that was normal, right?
Yeah.
Is that normal for most companies? Like at Best Buy, I feel like no one died.
No, yeah, it was never that bad. So, I don't. No, never that bad.
I may have wished it sometimes when dealing with a customer.
Yeah. I mean, all jokes aside,
I don't work in retail anymore, so I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
I just can't imagine. I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand that type of mentality. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do it, especially over years. Like, it's not just like a one-time thing. Like, that guy, made me mad the other day. I'm going to whatever mess them. It's like, that's crazy. Obviously, there's some sort of cognitive issue there. So,
Yeah.
who knows?
So do you think that the guy was a psychopath, though? Like, confirmed?
I mean, I don't know if I have enough evidence to confirm that one way or another. But definitely has some sort of mental issue going on, I would say, for sure. Now I'm just wondering, what was he like on a daily basis? Did the guy have any signs that he was, off like that? Or was he just a normal person that carried on? Because that's
He
probably
was
even
definitely
scarier.
not a normal person.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, if he acted like a normal person, that's even scary. Like, how do you even tell, like, someone's going to...
Do you think he went to their funerals? I mean, this is like a whole like rabbit hole of like psychopath. Like,
It really
this would make a
is.
crazy movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Someone needs to buy the rights.
I don't know how I missed that. I pretty much live on Reddit, so if it was on there, then...
It was on Twitter. That's where I
Okay.
saw it. Was on Twitter Moments.
Gotcha.
Because like I don't have like enough time to like actually find out what's the news like
Yeah.
every day. So I'll just go to Twitter Moments and that shows me like the 4 or 5 most popping things that day.
Yeah, usually I get most of my stuff from Reddit and Philip DeFranco. Not that those are like the best sources in the world, but I feel like it keeps me relatively informed. So
So I mean, let's just talk about bad coworkers because I know
Oh,
at Best Buy
man.
we had quite a variety of them.
Oh,
There's so
gosh.
like I feel like I could make a podcast entirely about Best Buy.
I have trouble talking bad about anyone like that. I don't know. I always feel like I don't want anyone to talk bad about me, but we can touch on certain people and topics. I just probably won't say their names.
Tommy
so.
taking the high road.
I try. It's a hard life to live, but somebody's got to do it. So
I was telling I forget who about the story about certain security guard who worked at Best Buy. This isn't a funny story. This is actually like a serious story.
Okay.
He sexually assaulted a girl from mobile phones. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no bueno.
And so I had said something to him, and it's not like it wasn't something like defensive or like I was attracted to this girl. I was like, dude, like,
Not cool.
yeah, exactly. I was like, you're like a dick for, like, why would you do that? Because like she had reported him to HR, and I guess they really didn't do anything about it. So naturally, said something to him. And like, dude, I was thinking back about it too. I was just like kind of a prick. Like when I was 18, like I really didn't know how to control like my angers and emotions. So I would just say whatever like was on my mind. And like, if you didn't like, because like at that point in time, I was just like not really concerned about maintaining employment.
I do remember you as a bit of a loose cannon, a little bit. A nice guy. I liked you a lot.
Nice guy, but
yeah,
loose cannon.
You were a real goofball. Honestly, I kind of looked up to you in that way because I've always been, so, well, at least back then I was, very shy, very reserved. And then your antics, man, hilarious. Like, I don't know.
So for me, that's kind of what led to like doing some of the antics is because I wanted him to quit. Like I would blast Careless Whisper throughout the store because I wanted him to quit. Like, do you remember? Like I would take my walkie and hold it up right into the Bluetooth speaker so it would play throughout all the walkies extremely loud.
I remember there was a couple like awkward times where I was actually near you two when you guys would say something to each other and you would kind of dismiss him, kind of, I wouldn't say rude, but you were very dismissive and you could tell it kind of irked him a little bit. And I was just like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm going to walk away.
So, I mean, like I'll describe this guy to everyone who hasn't met him because really only Tommy and I and maybe a couple people who worked with us know who I'm talking about.
Buckle up, guys.
This guy was like probably 5'5", maybe 5'6". If he was standing on his tippy toes, probably at least 60 to 100 pounds overweight. But like just the biggest like trash talker ever. Like every time I would say something to him, he would just be like, oh boy, I can handle you. I mean, this guy was like, what, probably 10 years older than me. He's like, oh boy, I could take you in a second. So one night, he was letting me and Darian out, and he had said something to me.
So at the end of the night, you guys are closing up.
At the end of the night, we
he's letting you
closed
out.
up,
Okay.
and he was like, so the way that most retail works is the security guy like has to let you out of the store to make sure you're not stealing anything, I guess, is the purpose behind that, or the store manager. And he had said something to me to the effect of like, I mean, I'm sure I had been chippy with him all day, and he's like, if you want to go, I'll take you right now. Right? Darian, being the friend that he is, had told me, because I mean, dude, you know, I was loose cannon. I was like, dude, if this guy, like...
And I mean loose cannon, not in terms of like, you know, Chase was going to go out and fight anybody. No, it wasn't like that. He was just a big goofball that, you know, he wasn't afraid to...
no, I just speak my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So... This guy's like, he's like wanting to fight me now because I
did something to him.
I pretty much called him. Well, I called him out for this stuff, and then I just like kept annoying him to the point where I knew that he wanted to quit. And Darian had mentioned on lunch one day, he's like, bro, if he tries to fight you, I got your back. And like for a split second, dude, I was like, man, this is how I'm gonna get fired, dude. Like, this guy's gonna try to fight me in the parking lot outside of work. Like, can you think of like a trashier way to leave a job?
It's not a good look. I actually recently got kind of sucked into the YouTube compilations of public freakouts and things like that. Not proud of it. I have a coworker that watches those sometimes, and it's very entertaining. Yeah.
So, anyways, this guy eventually quit.
Yeah, I believe he did, yeah.
He got relocated or something.
Something happened, yeah.
Because I think someone else reported him for doing the same thing. Essentially, what he did is at the beginning of the day, you have to get a walkie from the security office. The security office has no windows. So he would shut the door behind him and then like...
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be all weird. Dude, like that's just unsettling, man.
Yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah. These are lovely things to...
So anyways, he got relocated, fired, whatever the heck happened to him. I don't know. But I saw him. He was working at a mall. I'm not going to say which mall. And he was like selling those like little like toy helicopters.
I'm trying not to laugh. Okay. Like, I don't know. I have no ill will towards anybody. Get your money. Do what you got to do.
I don't have the time to care anymore.
Yeah.
It's just funny to talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about the mischief that happened at Best Buy. There is a lot of other things that happened too.
We've had a lot of,
Do you remember the one time that all those TVs fell off of the thing in
oh god
in the back? It was like it wasn't me. I wasn't involved, but I think the warehouse people had dropped like $4,000 worth of TVs from the top shelf. Do you remember? And all the radios fell over too.
I don't remember the radios falling.
Were you there that day?
Oh my gosh.
So do you remember?
I didn't know we were going to talk so much about our previous employer.
But, okay, so yeah.
No, it's fine, yeah.
This is probably the part where we're going to lose people, but...
Oh my god. Well, we can talk about other things. We can talk... I do want to mention something about Sundance too, whenever...
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Sundance then.
We can talk about whatever.
Let's talk about Sundance.
I was going to say, we're talking about, your funny shenanigans and all that, and... I mean, basically, long story short, me and Chase went to Sundance. I think I don't know if I was in charge of renting the car exactly. I believe I was, yeah. And,
yeah, you definitely were because I was 18. What was I, 18?
I don't remember exactly.
I was 18 or 19, dude. That was a crazy weekend. I remember getting home at like 6 or 7 in the morning and like Alex would text me good morning. And I was like, I'm literally just coming home.
But like long story short,
Tommy transitions right out of any partying stories
because it was
tell me.
It's a good memory. Basically, here's me. I'm trying to save that money, Fetty Wap, Lil Dicky. And we're picking a rent-a-car, and I'm like, well, let's get the
cheapest car.
Yeah, let's get this little. I don't even know what make it was.
Wasn't it it was a Mitsubishi something?
It was like a hatchback Hot Wheels car with tiny little Prius type rims on or tires on there. Anyway, we had to drive through the snowy mountains in this tiny little Hot Wheels car that was barely getting any traction at all on the road. It's like a snowstorm. And here's Chase playing, what was that freaking song?
It was a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Okay, yeah, Mitsubishi Mirage. And then you kept playing that Fetty Wap song.
Oh, did I?
What was that? Jimmy Choo.
I remember this now.
I remember pulling
My
up.
name is sit on Jimmy Choo's. Hey.
I remember pulling up in Park City, this little tiny Mitsubishi Mirage, and Chase just blasting
the whitest
Jimmy
guy
Choo,
ever blasting Jimmy Choo.
doing the slim thick with your cute ass.
Hey, I might buy you a new bag.
Yes, I will remember that my whole life. That was absolutely hilarious. Oh man, that was just some of the shenanigans that we've been up to.
Yeah. I mean, like, and all the people that we met that weekend, too. It was like, we met John Krasinski. We met Daniel Radcliffe. Like, we met, like, who else? Josh Groban.
It was a blast. Yeah.
What's his face from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, God. I've only watched bits and pieces of that
I know,
show.
I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
The guy, he's always on the front page of Reddit, too, dude.
Oh, I mean, it might be his character's name. I think is Dennis, but I don't know his actual real name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis, whatever his real name is.
Gotcha.
I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
But like we got to be a part of so many cool things, and we got to be involved with like, I don't know, dude. This was before all the Weinstein stuff happened, so we went to that.
Yeah.
You remember we went to that Weinstein party for Sing Street?
Oh yeah. I almost forgot. That was such a packed weekend, whatever it was. It was so packed full of events that it's hard to remember everything that we did. Definitely a blast though, for sure. I don't know. I've never seen Always Sunny, or I've only seen a couple episodes. I really don't watch that much TV, unfortunately. I mean, other than Game of Thrones, that's pretty much it. So.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That weekend, it was a lot of, I mean, we got to do all that stuff with Samsung too. I like still remember like, dude, that helicopter ride was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Snowmobile, like Samsung hooked us up. Shout out Samsung. This episode isn't sponsored by them or anything, but we got out there and they hooked us up with a private helicopter ride through the mountains.
Shout out to our Uber driver for that trip. Bought us Taco Bell on the way. Shout out Taco Bell.
Bro, she drop us off? We did the helicopter ride and
she dropped us off, went and got Taco Bell.
And then came back when we were, dude. Clutch driver right there.
I don't know why I thought about that, but you know.
Oh, dude, and do you remember? I had to be 21 to do all that stuff. All like the helicopter, the snowmobile, and like I just straight up told him like my wallet got stolen. That was like my excuse the entire weekend. It's like, oh, my wallet got stolen, but like I'm in a movie here with Nick Jonas and James Franco. So yeah,
pretty important.
Yeah.
Oh man,
what a
Great
weekend. No, we were out there a week.
Yeah, I think it was a full week.
Dude, do you remember those garlic bites too that we had?
Oh my God, it was the pizza place that was
pizza and noodle.
Yeah, it was around the corner. It just had the neon.
No, that was a different place. That was Pizza Tacos Beer.
Oh yeah, Pizza Tacos Beer. That was really good too.
That was a good place.
But yeah, the pizza.
The place was literally called Tacos Pizza Beer, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah. That was like the
that's like all you need to know about the restaurant.
Yeah, basically when me and Chase are, like alone for a week, we pretty much eat pizza almost every single meal because,
Shout out pizza.
Yeah. Big pizza fan over here.
But the one place was called what was it called? Pizza and Noodle or something? I could look on my...
like that. It was a nicer spot right on the main strip there.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah, the garlic knots or whatever they were called.
Garlic knots.
Those are fire. Absolutely fire. But
dude. Yeah. Do you still, man, so have you been in any movies recently?
I mean, recently,
because you were in GOAT too.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear, Tommy is a movie star. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Pretty
Tommy is. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie In the Radiant City, but Tommy is token pot smoker #1 in that film.
Yeah, that was my shining role.
Role, dude.
I had to actually fight through all the fans outside to get in the studio today. That's crazy.
Did you? Our studio in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, no, not really.
They somehow got tipped off. TMZ was outside. I actually saw them.
Yeah, no. Lately, it seems like most everything's been filming more around a lot of Louisville, Cleveland type stuff. Mm-hmm. Lately, I've been kind of working some shows at Riverbend and US Bank actually. Helping out the talent there.
Okay.
Doing some transportation type things. That's been really fun. Met a lot of cool people over there and stuff. So it's kind of satisfied my itch for just doing things. Yeah, and entertainment wise. Yep. And
being on the podcast, greatest podcast in the land.
This is probably the highlight of my life so far, honestly.
Jeez, dude.
Wow. Kidding. It is a good time. I really am happy to be here. I made a big effort to get out here and.
Dude, I want to talk about one more thing since I'm like the worst college person ever.
No, fire. Go ahead.
So tell me about your college experience. I know the story, like the full story about like.
I don't know what you want to know in detail, other than it was lengthy.
How long were you there?
In total, I mean, probably maybe 7 years or so. Probably about that. Yeah. I just never knew what I wanted to do.
I tell everyone I'm like the worst example of like a college like student, right?
Yeah.
I like so I got accepted to like a school I thought I really wanted to go to, and then I ended up going to community college, and then I changed my major, and then I got my girlfriend pregnant, and then I changed my major again, and then I got married to my girlfriend, and then I transferred schools, and then I changed majors again, and then I stopped going with like 4 classes left to finish my degree. And suddenly, I'm not curious about why my mom cries herself to sleep every night. Like,
I mean, it's cool. You know,
can you imagine? Can you imagine raising a kid and then they turn 18 and like act like they have no idea what's going on in life?
Bro, if I have a kid like you, I don't know what I'll do, honestly. Anyway.
Just call me up for advice. I'll be like, all right, so what he's going to do is not listen to anything you say, and you just have to be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to relate because when I grew up, I was like Butters from South Park. I was
Can't relate.
I was a sheltered little innocent kid. I was, yeah, I didn't miss a day of high school. You know, I was that nerdy.
Dude, you had perfect attendance?
All 4 years, I did.
Wow.
It's crazy. I know.
Dude, that's actually, bro, did you know that I was tardy like 70 times? Or
I'm not going to say I don't believe that because I can believe that.
I was tardy. I think it was almost every day of the first semester of my senior year. So they made me done. They were like, all right, and you're done with your classes. Like, you don't need to be here anymore. And we don't feel like dude, one day I like woke up. It was a Wednesday. I woke up at 11. I had calls from the school, my mom, my neighbor, the truancy officer. Like, everyone in the world was calling me. So I answer. Or I didn't answer. I called my mom back. And she was like, where are you? And I was like, in bed. She's like, do you know what day it is? I was like, Saturday? Bruh, it was Wednesday. It wasn't even close to Saturday. It was Wednesday.
I just remember there was a couple times where I probably should have not went to school, but I did anyway. Like, I remember one time I had like 100-something degree fever. I'm sitting in the back.
Yeah, you probably should have stayed home.
I'm sitting in my science class in the back, just with my head flat on the desk. And I was like, I can't miss a day of school. So
the worst part about me is like I had senioritis to the max. And like this was when I was like really into YouTube and really like getting a following on YouTube. So I thought like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTube star and school doesn't matter and I'm making money and screw you, school. So like it would be like, you know, I had to be at school like 8 o'clock, right? It'd be like 7:50 and I'd leave my house and it takes me like 15 minutes to get to school. So like instead of being 5 minutes late, I'd like stop at Bob Evans,
just casually
eat breakfast.
Roll up whenever.
Yeah, dude, I was like, man, if I'm gonna be late, I'm just gonna be late. So I'd like go to Bob Evans, eat breakfast, play on my phone, do whatever I want. Sometimes I'd like bring the leftovers to class with me and just like nom on those. And of course, I was like, if you want to picture me in high school, I was the front row student. Like I was like the guy that like.
Okay.
No. I was the guy that got in so much trouble the teacher moved me.
I thought you were the attentive kid that wanted to learn.
No.
Chase, come sit in the front. You're doing too much shenanigans. I mean. Yeah.
Yes. I was always talking to people, always making people laugh, saying stupid comments, getting sent to the office. I mean, this was more. So I transferred away from like my home high school to a vocational school. My junior year, I was really good, but my senior year, I don't know. I think it was the YouTube stuff. Like the week before my senior year started, like I got that Taco Bell thing, and I'm sure as a 17-year-old little ego boy, it got to my head. And then like that November, I think. Yeah, that November, I was on that Times Square billboard for H&M.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so like, dude, I was just like a little ego boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, I remember I sent that picture to one of my friends, and they were like, you know, is that Chase in all caps? And I was like, yeah, dude.
And then I came back to work at Best Buy probably like the next weekend.
It's fine, you know, it's cool.
That was like my life for so long. It was like split worlds almost.
Yeah, it's just, you know, steps on your journey, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll get there a different
steps
way.
on my journey to trying to pay bills.
To success, yeah, absolutely.
Trying to pay bills. Is success just paying all your bills on time? That's my real question.
That's definitely a big part of it. Like,
damn,
you know,
Jeremy.
Yeah, Jimmy's blowing up over here.
Jeez. I look down and
Popular.
Jeremy's got a paragraph going on.
Anyway.
I almost want to interview Jeremy to see what's going on.
Hey, what's going on?
His brother wants to deep clean his apartment, and he is not about it. He has too much to do today. Anything else to add? All right. He said life's great otherwise.
Good.
Tommy, dude, appreciate you making the time to come be on the best podcast on the planet.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
I know it's really hard to get on your schedule, dude. Your manager blew me off for like 3 straight emails, and like I had to reach out to your publicist and send her some statistics and be like, your client needs this publicity.
Yeah,
this will be good for him.
Yeah,
and finally, found a way to break through. So, dude, appreciate you coming out. Any parting words for the audience?
Oh man, not much really. Was glad to be here. I'm always down in the future. Any other topics you end up wanting to discuss? It was a good time. I was happy to make it happen.
Well, until next time, don't drink cow straight out of a cow's titty.
What?